Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gunpla Insider, brought to you by Gunpla Network, Canadian Gundam, and Hobby Co. I'm your host, The Spicer, and today we'll be talking to the illustrious DDthePuppeteer. DD, how about you introduce yourself and let all these fine people get to know you a little bit better.
Hey guys, this is DDthePuppeteer. I'm doing review videos on YouTube. I'm planning to review a lot of like Gunpla or any series, but so far I've been focusing on Kotobukiya kits for now, but just wait, I'll branch out. And yeah, so I do my videos with stop motions, so take a look.
Yeah, how did you end up getting into model kit building in general, not necessarily just Framearms and Framearm girls?
So how I get started building, it was elementary school. My elder brother gave me a SD kit of one of the Gunpla, and yeah, that's pretty much my gateway. I just then start building, can't stop, and yeah, till now. And yeah, I think I stayed with Gunpla for like a good 10 years or something. Then I start looking at other model kits like Kotobukiya.
And how long have you been building the Framearms kits? It sounds like at least a couple of years.
Let me think. It's probably shit. It's at least like 7-8 years, I guess.
It's been a good while.
Yeah. Well, I've been building for my whole life, so.
Yeah, you started early enough. You have to branch out eventually.
Yeah.
Do you still build Gunpla?
Yeah, I do. Just not. Well, the reason why I'm not reviewing on Gunpla yet because there's already so many people doing it. So I thought I would do some review on some rare kits. Not really rare, but not as much people doing them.
Yeah,
but yeah, I still do
Framearms don't
Gunpla.
get near the coverage. It's kind of talking about the other reviewers doing Gunpla more particularly. Are there any of those reviewers that you drew any inspirations from, or that you were like, hey, I really want to do the YouTube thing because of this person?
Not really. That's kind of funny. I started a channel not because like really seeing some review. Actually, I not really watching review videos before I started the channel. So yeah, but yeah, there is this one guy I used to watch. What's his name? Jobby the Hong.
Yeah, Jobby, yeah. He's very entertaining videos, to say the least.
Yeah. So, speaking of inspiration, maybe I get some of that entertainment elements from him, I guess.
I guess, yeah, kind of in a really loose way, you wanted to bring something more entertaining than necessarily just directly a review. I could see that.
Yeah.
In terms of the stop motion, the extra little bit that you add to those videos, kind of walk me through the process of, planning out the stop motion itself and then actually doing the stop motion.
Well, the skit, I think that's where we're talking about. The skit, I usually just get the kit and then start looking at its like features, anything special about them, and then just kind of let my inspiration goes. Kind of when I see a kid and anything that relates to the kit pop in my head, I just start thinking, okay, is there some kind of story, or I can just make that particular scene from whatever the anime or the game I have related to that kid with. And yeah, if there's a particular scene I want to make, and I just make that, and then think about what's the what should go in front or after the scene. That kind of makes the whole skit funny. Yeah.
I mean, and they are like incredibly entertaining. Like it's really superb stop motion. I've dabbled myself, and it's incredibly difficult to do. And you just do such a killer job in not just the movement, but like background settings, actually scripting things out. It's really phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And yeah, in the actual stop motion process itself. The actual filming, I suppose. What kind of equipment do you use? Do you have like a camera, or is it just your phone, or how do you do that?
I use DSLR. Mine would be Canon Rebel T6, and yeah, and then I use the software. It's called Dragon Frame. That's for making stop motion.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of Dragon Frame. This is kind of an introduction for me. That's really cool. Is it just like regular video editing software, or does it have special stop motion type things built into it?
Oh, it's specialized for stop motions.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's entirely designed for that. Okay, that's pretty neat. Interesting. Yeah. On the on your T6, you know. As far as just the general camera, are you using the kit lens that comes with it, or did you use a different lens for most of your stuff?
Not really, because I had never had a DSLR before I started shooting these, so still like halfway learning how to even use these equipments. And that program we just talked about, I only know like the mere basic of the program. So if you ask me what else can that program do, I believe there's a lot, but I don't know yet.
Well, there's a lot to learn, and it looks like you learn pretty fast. So I'd imagine we'll see some cool stuff in the future.
Yeah, and the video editing, I use Premiere Pro, Adobe, which I've never used before I started the channel either. So I kind of just learning all these things as I go.
Yeah, a lot to learn at once, to say the least.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing really well at it, so it's definitely all the stuff you learn going forward will be very well implemented, I'd imagine.
Thanks.
Oh, absolutely. In terms of, and this is kind of another minor thing, I would suppose, but it's a nice touch that brings another level of depth to your reviews. When you're setting up scenes, doing backgrounds, even like the background you've got right now with kind of the moon in the back there, how do you do that? Is that just like black cloth, or I know like some of it's the mechanic bases that you normally see for like model kits, but kind of how do you go about setting a scene like that?
How do I say that? I like to collect those like scaled models of anything, like this table, this sofa, and it was just really for fun. It wasn't for the channel, but then now I found a good use of it. And for the background, or kind of go back to the tools I'm using, I bought a set like for photos. I think it was for like accessories photography kind of sets, and yeah, I just use that for my model, like that black background, and there's two lights that comes with the kit. Yeah, that's basically what I used.
And
I bought that LED moon for no good reason. It was for my 9th review. Let me see this one, if you haven't seen it. Yeah, the moon came up, few scenes. I think only like 3 cut scenes, and yeah, best spend money on that thing for only 3 cents, like 2 seconds. But yeah, that's what I do. Just wasting money for small things. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's how it goes. You buy things, and if they get used, they get used. And it is a really cool accessory to have. It definitely adds a little bit to the background there. It's not just plain. It gives it a little extra there. And with just the couple of lights you've got, your lighting is actually very well done. It really doesn't like wash out the Framearm girls in particular. And kind of going back to the picture you had just showed, your channel's only Framearms and Framearm girls at the moment. What do you like more so about the Framearms that you would say normal, like high grade or master grade or something of that nature?
What do you mean? Like how I prefer?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, what about Framearms do you like more so than like Gunpla, or like what draws you to them?
It's kind of like I've been doing Gunpla for 10 years more, 10 years plus. Then I started just want to look for something new, and Framearms. The design really gives like a more realistic kind of feeling to it, opposed to Gundam series. They are mostly more like a more heroic design, but as to Framearms, they are more realistic, and I wouldn't say more realistic, but it's kind of less that heroic kind of element. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying, but yeah.
Absolutely, and you actually, I believe, in a couple of different reviews, had brought these small little details to light that Cody really pulls from real-life examples of, either the trucks or planes or tanks or ships that these kits are based on. They have like little details in each, and I can definitely see what you mean with that. Now, you've been building Framearms for, you said, 7-8 years. Do you have a favorite Framearms you've built so far?
Probably not like favorite, but I'll guess so far this guy, the Congo.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah,
I was actually surprised by that review, because he's the one that's based off of like a warship, right?
Yes, it has like ton of details, like ship details that I really love, and the face is really badass.
Yeah, that head sculpt's really cool. I like the little visor that comes down like around the green part, that little red piece. It kind of adds a little bit more to it.
But yeah, my favorite always shifts around. So
that makes sense.
Next month it wouldn't be this something. One. Yeah.
And kind of talking about the Congo in particular, not only is it a phenomenal design, it's really unique. You don't really see a lot of aquatic-based mech anyway, but one to be based on like a ship is totally out there.
Yeah.
Is that a big portion of why that is, at least for the moment, up there on your list of favorites, or is there something in particular about that kit that you really just love?
Well, it's the like you said, the aesthetic is pretty unique. It's not a lot out there. It's pretty rare, and the best thing I like about it is if you watch the review, you see the ship form, and which is not exactly a ship. You have the whole upper body just sticking on that ship. It's not normal, but I like it.
Rather different for any kind of mech, but it is really cool looking.
Yeah, and you can also flip the legs out and make it look like the Daigren from Gurren Lagann. You know the show?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, because the whole boat thing comes out right. Yeah.
That's where the skit on that video came from.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I was thinking, I was like, there's no way that's very stable, and it was probably just for this, but
And I get some just play around with the kid on what kind of skits I want to make. Yeah, so that's where it came from.
That is really cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, of course. And it kind of still on Framearms. Do you have a preference of actual like the mech themselves versus Framearm girls, or are they about the same? I know they use different frames, so it's kind of hard to say. But design wise, build wise, which one do you prefer?
Framearms girls or Framearms? Shoot, I wanted to say Framearms, but I can't resist those Framearms girls, so I'm gonna say both.
I definitely think our own Aero Mecha Sensei would probably agree there, if not lean more towards the Framearms girls. But oddly enough, like I've always thought they were neat looking.
I started Framearms like probably a year or two before Framearms girls came out, and I have this friend. He likes the Framearms from the very beginning. When the very first kit came out, he started to follow the series, and he's like always telling me how good this series is. I should try it. And then after a while, I finally dig in, and then Framearms girl came out. I was like, I just jumped into the party, and then we came out with this spin-off and drawing all the attention away. I was I was a little like a little sad about the series because it's drawing all the attention away. But you see how much I bought, so I couldn't say shit about it anymore.
Yeah, you buy enough of them. I don't think that you're harboring any grudges there.
Yeah. And I think my Framearms girl is outnumbered already, opposed to Framearms. Dang.
It makes sense. I mean, if you look at the variants in some of the videos and just in general their catalog, there's a lot of them already. It's crazy.
Yeah, they even have anime Framearms girl, and which is a little upset to me again because they don't have anime for Framearms. No.
Yeah, you would think they would, have some kind of material for it with all these designs and the lore behind it, but nope, nothing.
No.
Maybe one day, fingers crossed. Maybe we'll get something one day.
Yeah, I hope so.
And it kind of, still talking about the Framearms girls in particular. I've never built any of the waifu kits.
Waifu kits.
That's what we affectionately refer to them as. But going through your reviews, and there was something in there that was really different, and it reminded me of something that you'll usually see in Gundam a lot of the times. You'll see the pre-production prototype designs for a mobile suit, and then you'll see the prototype for the model kit, and you're like, whatever, it's fine. And then you see it in animation, you're like, I have to have this.
Yes.
Your review of the Chaos Witch sold me immediately. I was like, this is going to be my first one. I have to buy this now.
Yeah, well, that's one of the goal I'm trying to go with my channel is, kind of push people off the edge, I guess.
You get them into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And talking about your channel, when you get a new kit, you get it built, or you see one coming out, how do you start planning out what you're going to review and kind of how you're going to do it?
Well, the first thing I think about making one video is the skit. So, because that's usually the hardest thing to begin with, and which is one part that cannot be taken off anymore from my reviews. So that's that. And like I said, I usually gather inspirations for skit during just looking at it and start building it, and then kind of play around with it. And once I have the skit, then yeah, I just dig in and start doing the articulations, which I also use stop motion for. And the script, they actually just came out of my mind. And there's not really a way to prepare them. I just think about what I'm gonna talk about all the day, like when I was driving, when I work, and I just think about what I'm gonna talk about. So yeah, that's that. Then finally the editing, which will usually take like 2-3 days, then done.
In kind of that time frame as well, how long does it take you to, on average, do a review from start to finish?
About averagely would be like 3 weeks.
I would imagine with all the stop motion that the actual filming process takes the longest.
Yeah.
And it shows, though. I mean, you put a lot of care and dedication into that stop motion, and it really comes across.
Mm-hmm.
On kind of the just focusing on your YouTube channel more so, kind of walk us through how you decided, hey, I'm going to start this channel. This is what I want to start doing. This is how I'm going to do it. And where do you really intend to take the channel? Do you have any like goals within like the next year that you want to hit of really anything to do with your channel?
Well, ultimately there's a dream of the channel will be if I can get myself official. Like I do like official advertisement for these kids, for like Bandai, Kotobukiya, anything. Just go official. But yeah, I'll just keep it as a dream. I'm not sure if I'll really shoot for it, but yeah, that's one of the goals. Other than that, it's more just having fun making these videos.
They really are, you can tell you're having fun with it. It's enjoyable to watch. It doesn't feel like the process was frustrating. It really comes across as something you're just enjoying doing. But yeah, I think all of us at some point have that little thought of like, man, it would be cool if Bandai or Kotobukiya would sponsor us.
Yeah.
But hey, you're growing pretty quickly. You've got a lot of really solid, different stuff in your reviews that you don't see really anyone else doing. Especially with Framearms, but just in general, no one really does the same level of stop motion you do in terms of reviews.
Yeah, well, this is just one thing about, I would say one concern of me about this channel is because, like I said, it takes about like 3 weeks to make a video, so my uploading speed is comparatively very low, very slow. Like other review channels, they upload videos like once or even twice a week, but not me. I'm like one video per 3 weeks or sometimes a month. And one of the one of the purpose of the channel will be introducing the new products, so people can consider about getting it or not. But when I about finish my video and upload it, it's not as new anymore. That's one of the problems I have.
Yeah, I mean,
if I go official,
it takes you that time.
If I go official, then I can get the kit ahead, I guess.
Yeah, even if you could get a few days early, that would help, just shave some time off. Well, here's to hoping, hopefully, especially with not a lot of people doing frame arms, and your production quality is really high already. Maybe, hopefully soon. But, if you guys haven't checked out any of these reviews, please do. I can't say that enough. There's before the interview and everything, I've watched a lot of these videos, and they're so phenomenal. Even like way before this was a thought that I'd be doing reviews. It's just so much more entertaining. Not to say that normal reviews are bad or boring, but you definitely get more entertainment and laugh value out of what you're doing right now than you see with a lot of just general reviewers. Even if it is a little slower, I think a lot of people do appreciate that and probably stay longer into your videos than a lot of others. But outside of the Framearms and the Framearm girls, have you ever thought about branching out and putting other content on the channel, or is it really focused on Framearms and Framearm girls for the foreseeable future?
Well, there's another series that's been in my channel. That'll be Megami Device. But yeah, that's also Kotobukiya Kids, and it's pretty similar to Framearm's girl. But yeah, for branching out, some Gunpla, I'm thinking maybe I'll branch out on that, and also Figmas or SH Figure Arts. Those are one of my goals too. I have those in my. I wrote those in my channel description. Like I introduced Gunpla, Framearms, SH Figure Art, Figma, but nothing for those yet.
Talking about Figma and SH Figure Arts, do you already collect those, or is that something that you're going to eventually get into?
I have. I've been collecting for good few years too. Probably longer than Framearms.
Oh wow! Okay, so it's been a good while.
Yes. Yeah. That's one of the fields I branch out after Gunpla.
Yeah, dude, definitely there's a ton of stuff to review out there, and even with your style of reviews, it'd be very easy to go over a lot of older things and still bring a new style to them, as it were. Do you have like any kind of? I know it's hard with the action figure lines, but is there any particular focus you have of like Figma? I know it's a lot of anime characters, particularly, but with the figure arts, is it do you mainly collect the anime, the Marvel? What's your real focus on your collection in general?
So far, it's Marvel. Yeah, I have a lot of Iron Man ones, and yeah, they have a lot.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I dabble in those as well, but they're pretty expensive. I don't have them up yet. They're probably going to be on a shelf behind my computer. But do you have all the Iron Men right now, or are you missing a few?
Not all. It's kind of crazy to get them all, and it's getting more expensive now. For some reason, probably because the RDJ it's retiring, and there's not gonna be new Iron Man, probably not anymore. So price is driving high.
Yeah, the demand is high. It's that time, right now with the retirement and the future, as it were, will be, getting a bunch of older suits, if anything else. But that's really cool. That's it's always, there's always a lot of overlap between model kit building and action figures and everything. But you don't see a lot of the reviews on the same channel sometimes. Have you thought about at all which figure arts or Figma you might start with?
Well, Iron Man, I think. Because that's the what I have the most.
Yeah, it's a good place to start too. You've got a lot of room to expand there.
Yeah. Oh, and also in one of my videos, I have the Tony Stark appeared in one of my videos. I think it's the the ninth one.
I think it in like
Appeared
one
in
of the
like
short scenes, right?
Yeah, the last 2 seconds of the video.
I think you're already getting him in. You know, you got to review it soon.
Yeah, kind of teasered it.
Yeah, you're just putting it out there, see if anyone pick up on it. And just as kind of before we round things out here, what was the last Gunpla model kit that you built?
The last one. I think it's the HGUC Gustav.
Oh yeah, the Gustav Karl.
Yeah.
And how did you like that?
Oh, it's awesome. Well, I like bulky kits.
Yeah, the thick.
That's kind of why it's very bulky. Reminds me a lot of other kits like Celsius. From Stardust Memory, and Virtue from Double O. I see a lot of modification on Gustav to like modified to those kids.
Yeah,
it's
it
kind of fun to
definitely
watch.
shares a lot of similarities, especially Virtue. The really big flat surfaces.
Yeah.
And are there any releases coming out somewhat soon that you've got your eye on that you're really excited for?
Alex, Master Grade.
That Master Grade Alex 2.0 with the whole frame and everything.
Oh, dang. It's another bulky kid again.
Yeah, you put the armor on it. It's pretty chunky.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've got all of the pressing questions out of the way, here at the end of the review, there's a little bit of time for you to, shout out your channel, plug yourself, any other social media sites you're on, or to shout out anybody else that you might want to. But yeah, feel free to go ahead.
Okay, I guess there's just one thing. So, people, if you like my channel, please share, I guess, because I am terrible at advertising myself. So, I'm glad if someone do the work for me. I think somebody shared my video on Reddit when I just began. I think it was on my second video. Somebody said that in the comment, said they shared my video, and from that day, my growth of subscriber just blast out. It was crazy.
It's pretty crazy. I could see that happening. I mean, you definitely, all the work and attention that you put into it really impresses a lot of people as far as it goes, and I cannot express to everyone out there watching right now how just phenomenal the videos are, not only in the review and the information you get, but the stop motion is on par with like War in the Closet, if you're familiar with the old stop motion YouTube days, or Gundam Father of Peace, or any of the old actual like focused on story and stuff stop motion. It's just as good. It's very fluid. It is such a well done professional level of stop motion. But outside of that, absolutely, please go check out DDthePuppeteer on YouTube. Phenomenal content. And of course, you're already here. You might as well subscribe to Gunpla Network. We'll be interviewing more content creators across YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Of course, if you know anyone that you would like to recommend, please put them down in the comments below. And have a good day, guys.